So last week we spoke to social media influencer and activist Jorge Narvaez. His video went viral. He posted with his daughter Alexa singing the song Home when his daughter was just 6 years old. It received over 30 million views in just a matter of days. Since then, he's appeared with his daughter on America's Got Talent, the Ellen DeGeneres Show. We are joined again today by Jorge and his now 13-year-old daughter Alexa, who just came home from school. Alexa, Jorge, how are you?
Good.
Hi, everybody. What's going on?
Hi.
How's everybody doing?
So how was school today, Alexa? Good?
Good.
Good? So let me ask you a question. You go to school, you did this famous thing. You're on this video with 30 million people watching you. Do your friends know about this?
Yeah.
Yeah? So what do you have, like all these followers on YouTube? They like everybody want to be like your best friend in school, or they kind of like not really talk about it a lot?
Not really. They treat me like a normal human being.
Yeah.
And I like that. They treat me normal. I'm not treated special, and I'm just like everybody else, which is amazing.
Well, that's good.
I fit in so much.
That's good. That's great. So let me ask you a question. You were 6 years old. I'm sorry, Jorge. I really want to talk to Alexa. We're going to get to you in a minute.
No.
Okay?
I'm going to go to the bathroom. I'll be fine.
So you were 6 years old, and 30 million people are watching you on YouTube. When you were 6, did you know the enormity and how special that was to have 30 million people look at you singing on YouTube?
No, actually, I didn't even know 30 million was actually a number.
You didn't even know?
I only know like 200 numbers. That was it.
Yeah.
When we went to we were on America's Got Talent. I think it was the guy, the bald guy. He was like, you know how many people watch you on the internet? It's like he's like 609. That was a beat. Yeah.
I didn't know there was that. I was like, there's probably 609 people in the crowd because I thought that was a big number in my head.
How was it to meet Ellen? Was that kind of cool? What happened first? Did you meet Ellen first, or you were on America's Got Talent first?
I think I met Ellen first.
Yeah, we met Ellen first. Yeah.
And how was it to meet?
As soon as the video went viral, like a few days later, I literally got a call from Ellen DeGeneres' producer. I was on my way to a midterm. And at UCSD, and then we got the call, and I was like, "Dude, let's go." She's like, "Yeah, let's go."
I actually didn't know. I didn't know.
She wasn't old enough to be like, "Ooh, show."
Right.
I mean, we didn't even watch the Ellen show at the time.
So you didn't know who she was. You just went on. You went on TV.
I watched a bunch of kids shows. Now.
Right. So you kind of grew up on your dad's channel. Your dad became this very well-known and famous, activist and influencer on YouTube, on Facebook, on social media. How'd you come up with Reality Changers, first of all? I never asked you that question.
The word Reality Changers actually comes from a nonprofit that I'm a founding member of here in San Diego, called Reality Changers, 2 words. And they focus on getting first-generation high school students into college. And I was one of those first-generation high school students. I was one of the original members. When I opened my channel, I named it Reality Changers because I love the idea of like the state of mind, changing reality and being positive. So I thought from the very beginning that could be something I could share with my audience through my family, is changing our reality. And that's what we've been doing these past couple of years.
Time Magazine, when they saw your video that went viral, and I'm quoting from Time Magazine, it says, "This is the reason why the internet was invented." That was in 2011. How did that make you feel?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, you didn't know? I'm just telling you that now. How does that make you feel? How does that make you feel?
It's amazing.
Yeah. How important is your heritage to you in your everyday life, walking around, and how important is your heritage in what you teach your family?
Very important. And the reason why is because it's about honoring the people that got you to where you are. My mom, my grandmother, her grandfather, people that have inspired us to move forward and why not honor them? I mean, this, Brad. Like, my mom has been through a lot of stuff through immigration,
right? And
the way that we talk about this at home is very honest, very raw, very real. Hey, look, we're not just being successful. We're not just changing reality for us, for our family. It's also for our for our mothers, for the people who don't have a voice in this country, for the people who wish they could have this platform and they don't. So I feel like it's my responsibility to educate my daughters to be leaders in our community through whether it's online or offline.
Jorge, your dad, has his own immigration story, which I'm sure you're aware of, right, Alexa?
Yeah.
You're aware of his story, his immigration story. And then your grandma, you're close with your grandma?
Yeah, she actually just painted my nails right now, and
She just painted
hers.
your.
Yeah, she painted my white, and I painted hers pink.
And do you know where she's from, your grandmother?
Guadalajara.
When did she get arrested by immigration? Do you remember how old you were?
2014.
2014.
Really? When she?
So you were about 9 or 10 years old, I guess, right?
Yeah, I was in 4th grade, I think, but I didn't really know growing up that my grandma actually was deported until like it.
Yeah.
When she had to spend time.
I didn't
in
really
jail.
explain to her. I mean, we would go to TJ and go visit her,
And I
but
thought it was normal.
it wasn't something necessary that I had to explain to a little girl about the complexity of immigration. I mean, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
that's
why
when I
would you bring that up
realized-
to a 9 or a 10-year-old?
But when it did happen,
You told her.
I told her.
What did
and-
What did you tell her about grandma getting arrested because she was previously ordered deported?
And I told her that grandma's trying to reunite with us. She's trying to live with us because she wants to be with us and she wants to grow with us and she wants to see us grow. And because of that, there's a process that I told her that she has to go through. But they put her in this jail, and we're trying to get her out. And I mean, when the kids hears the word jail,
Right.
I've thought of a lot of bad things. I flipped out at first. I was like, why is my grandma in jail? She didn't do anything wrong. She didn't do any crime. She didn't kill somebody. And I was really confused as to someone who wants a new life just because she didn't have papers, got deported and arrested. And I understand, like, now that I'm older, I'm like, you have to go to these things legally because you have to become a citizen as well and have to have papers. But definitely, so scared for my grandma when I found out that she was in jail.
What was it like to walk into the jail to see your grandmother behind bars? You said she never committed a crime.
You did come with us, right?
She never committed a crime, right? She was just here illegally.
Yeah, she went. She actually did go to the CCA with me.
Yeah.
Didn't you? Yeah, you did.
How did that feel? Do you remember?
Yeah, I remember it. It was really. It was like my stomach felt really heavy just looking at her, and she's not next to me. There's like a wall in between us, and I couldn't hug her. I couldn't kiss her. I could only talk to her, and I was crying. I was like, Grandma, why are you in jail? And she's like, I'll tell you later on, mija. You may not be able to understand it right now, but I'll be with you soon.
And Jorge, when you were bringing Alexa to jail, what did you tell her? Why is her grandmother in jail?
I just told her the truth.
Uh-huh.
But I gave her the kids' version.
Right.
I told her that she's trying to come back, but in this country, this is the process to try to come back. Mm-hmm. And it's unfortunate because she was put in. She knew about this. She was put in shackles. When you visualize your mother being put in chains with a jail uniform, just because he's trying to live a better life, it really messes with your head, and it makes you want to fight for them even more.
Right.
So, without hesitation, I took her to protest with me. I took her to march with her. She was my daughters were both there when my mom was released.
So you had protests on behalf of your mother. Tell me about the protest and how you organized it.
We had vigils. Tell
me about the vigil and how did you organize it?
Well, it was another group of people who were also doing vigils for other women who were apprehended, and we were in solidarity with all of them. But what better way to educate my kids about compassion and empathy than to show them that these people mean good, and my mom means good. This vigil is a good thing. We're just raising our voices for those who don't have a voice, and that's just goes back to the way that I want to teach my kids to be good people, to see people from a different perspective and not from a border or a line.
What were the conditions that you saw your mother was in jail, and what were the conditions that your mother told you about her living in that jail. How was she treated?
Man, I am absolutely disappointed with the way that my mom was treated in the detention center. I mean, there are a lot of needs that certain women have at certain times of the month, and certain things they need at certain times, and some of those needs weren't met for some of these people. And my mom even told me one of the women even had a seizure while she was in there. One of them wanted to quit, and my mom was a person that was in there saying, no, 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 don't give up, don't give up, don't give up, because there is, and it's so sad, but being in there is such a mental, it's like it's so traumatizing. It's such a spiritually defeating feeling that you just want to quit. But my mom didn't quit. If anything, she was the one that was organizing everybody together. She made a, because they don't even have hairbrushes for women in there.
Right.
Can you believe that? Like, hygienic stuff.
No,
and my mom made a hairbrush with her glasses. She took the I don't know how she did it, but just to feel a little bit more human.
No,
you know?
Yeah, and you said the right word, human. Nobody realizes how dehumanizing and how poorly treated people are treated in immigration jails. They're treated worse than being in a criminal jail. Most criminal jails are nicer and people are treated better than in immigration jails. People who commit crimes who then have to be sent over to immigration jail would much prefer to be in any criminal jail than they would in an immigration jail. And now here are people like your mother who have never committed a crime. What was their crime? They want to be with their family? What was their crime? They're trying to go work at a job that no Americans want? What was their crime? They're trying to avoid getting killed in their country, so they're trying to escape, to be treated like cattle, and not given human decency, a hairbrush, things for women for that time of month. I mean, you can go on and on and on. The conditions, if Americans saw on a regular basis the conditions that are occurring in immigration jail, they would be horrified. It's what you would think you would find in a third world country where they take prisoners that have no human rights and they put them in a dungeon and throw away the key, literally. And
what do you think about that, Alex?
It's so frustrating to see that my grandma had to fight to be in this country, just to literally be in this country. So she had to fight so she could be with her family, and now she has to fight for her life.
Yes.
It's so frustrating, and it makes me so sad that she still has to go through this. Her and so many other people, so many other individuals that are human. They have personalities. They have feelings. They cry. They are angry. They have families that they care about. To go through this, it's unacceptable. And it's not
it's
okay.
Un-American,
it's
honestly.
And the American dream is, I remember growing up and be like, the American dream is amazing. I was like, people come here from other countries and they try to start at a better place. But now that I'm older and the realization of this world, it's disgusting. It's the American dream for pretty much nobody.
Well, it's certainly not the American dream for people who want to try to come to America to make a better life for themselves, not with President Trump as our president of the United States. Let me ask you one other question. Your grandmother, she has cancer now. How is she doing?
It's really crazy. My grandma just told me today that her hair started falling off.
You saw it.
Yeah, that's from
the
chemotherapy.
How much hair did you see?
It's like this much, and
clump.
It came from my hairbrush. And to be honest, I didn't really know how to react. I literally walked into my room and I literally just closed my door and I started crying. Because she just told me, we might have to shave her hair today. And
yeah,
I've never really had to witness having my family, someone close to me, die. I've had my great grandmother, but I never really knew her that well. But I was still sad. But I just I straight up bursted into tears. Like, it was an hour ago. I couldn't handle the fact that my grandma just had to go through this. You know, her beautiful hair, her beautiful body is being messed up. Mm-hmm. And just even think about it really makes me sad.
Yeah. It's just the fact that she has to, I mean, it makes me think of what my mom went through when she was incarcerated and how desperate some of the moms were in there just to feel a little human. They want to brush their hair. They want to they want to, you know, change their clothes, change their underwear, little basic stuff. And then for my mom to revisit that feeling again during chemo and to know that something that is precious to some people, her hair, it's part of her identity. It's coming off. It's like, that's why we're frustrated, man. That's why we're tired, because my mom has been through back to back to back to back things because of a broken system.
Right.
You know, whether it's the healthcare system, whether it's our food that we're eating, or whether it's the immigration system. And it makes me angry. And I'm so proud. I'm proud that I'm able to talk to you and I'm able to have my daughter here and have this conversation, because that's how we, in my opinion, we're supposed to teach our kids to be edgy, to be smart, to be witty, to be wise, to not be afraid. And the way that women are being treated in our country compared to other countries, it's embarrassing. And that's exactly why I go above and beyond to bring my daughter into this. Yeah, it's hard. You're probably thinking, she shouldn't know about these things. Maybe, but you know what? Sometimes they makes them stronger. It's not trauma. It's empowerment to be a voice for other people. You know, and it makes me proud to hear her talk, because she's smart, dude. She's a smart kid, and so is my daughter. And kids like her deserve to be heard, because they're also going through this pain. When you deport somebody, when somebody's incarcerated over something they didn't do, it destroys everybody from the inside. Everybody, not just me, not just the person, not just the immigrant, but the community, the conscience. You know.
I can't say it any better than what you did, and you said it very passionately and eloquently. Your mom, just for everyone to know, she is in America now. She's in the process of getting her green card. She's gone through a lot. She was in detention in 2014. When was she diagnosed with cancer?
Just a few months ago.
Just a few months ago. Do you think, is there anything in your mind, in the back of your mind, that says, maybe all the stress and that she went through caused, you know, crazy, or you just think it was just one has nothing to do with the other?
No, I agree. Dude, my mama had already gone through surgery. They cut a piece of her intestine because it was twisted. She's already going through colitis. She already had that problem with her. So imagine going into the jail, Arizona Detention Center, and also here in San Diego, with that colitis, with that pain, and she wasn't even given her medicine on time. Mm-hmm. They didn't even give her medicine until like a week later. And guess what? My mom was in pain the whole entire time. But and I mean, it infuriates me, because it's still happening today, when these quote unquote caravans that are bringing people to the border, and then they're being seeking for asylum. They're put in an Arizona detention center, and then they're in there. They put them in chains, dude. I don't think people understand that. They're put in chains. My mom was put in chains. She never committed a serious crime like that. Why would they even?
She never committed a crime. Period. There's no crime that was ever committed. Yeah. Being out of status in America is not a crime. There was no crime ever committed by your mom. Now, what happens? I'll tell you what happens in the United States, which people don't realize. All of the immigration jails are privatized jails. They are jails that the U.S. government pays a company to run on behalf of the U.S. government to hold immigrants. The companies have only one rule: make as much money as they can. They don't care about the person as a human being. They don't care about human rights. They don't care about civil rights. They don't care about people's comfort. As a private company, what they say is, we are going to keep the person alive. That's our only thing until they get deported. We don't care anything else, because every penny, if we give them a hairbrush, if we give them a maxi pad, that's money out of the profit from that company. That is why
inhuman.
It is inhuman, and that is why
I had to give my mom. I had to give my mom, I think, like $100 just so she can not only call us, but she needed the money to pay for tampons.
That's right. She has to pay for it.
Tampons cost money.
That's right.
In a jail.
That's right. And if you don't have money, too bad. And there's a lot of people who unfortunately don't have a son in the United States to give money, and then they got a problem. And these private this is not the U.S. government jailing. This is a private company.
And you know what? It's a perfect thing for them because they get all these non-English speakers that go into these jails, and they don't want to talk about what they went through. You know, why do you think my mom is writing a book right now about what she went through? She's gonna finish writing it. Do you think cancer is gonna stop her from being out loud and having a voice? Hell no.
No.
If anything, we're stronger now because of what she's going through. But we're tired. I just want my mom to become a citizen. I just want her to be here. She's been here since she was 16. Right. This is over.
And she's how old? And she's how old now?
She's 49.
49. She's been here since she was 16. Never committed a crime, and they stick her in jail for 3 months to try to deport her. Huh. It's terrible.
It's ridiculous.
It's terrible. Well, I can tell you, based on our private conversations, that she sounds like she's on her way, and we just wish her the best in terms of getting better health-wise. She's been through a lot. She has been through a lot. She's my age, and she's been through 7 lives that I've been through already. And she has suffered, and we just want her to be better and be able to enjoy and live out the rest of her life with her family, and that's what we all pray for.
Anything you want to say?
I think people really need to realize what is going on. We live in a very privileged country, to be honest. And it's really important that we know about these things, and especially for those people, for people who are immigrants that didn't even know they were immigrants until later on, and then they end up becoming deported, yet they lived their whole life here in America. It's sad because they should never. No one ever deserves that.
And not only does no one deserve it, but the United States allowed this to happen. They allowed your grandmother to live here out of status from 16 to 49 before they jail her. They allow people to have families, to build a life for themselves, just to rip them out of their lives and throw them in jail 30, 40 years later. It's terrible.
It's traumatizing. It's inhuman. If I was to definitely explain what this is, it's one word, and it's inhuman.
It is. And hopefully we'll be able to have more conversations, not only with you, but other people, and be able to put a spotlight on what is a really terrible, terrible thing that's going on in this country.
This needs to stop. And I really think that definitely it really needs to change.
Things need to change.
I can't say it any better. Well, hopefully it's going to start with young people like yourself who have a lot of brains and a lot of smarts and a lot of really good things to say. So hopefully it starts with you and your friends and your colleagues and everybody around the United States, because it's going to be you, the 13-year-olds of the world, who are going to eventually turn 18, 19, 20, 21, who hopefully will make a change. Jorge, yes. Alexa, thank you very much for coming on. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you so much.